tutorial, you will need McCall 7574. We will begin sewing view D. If you turn to the back of the pattern envelope, you will see the suggested fabrics, sizes, and finished garment measurements. So now let's begin going over our pattern pieces. Pattern piece number 9, the neckband. You will cut on the center fold. However, I will be using the rib knit stretchable collar band. I will use it as my collar as well as for the cuff of my sleeve. This is optional. If you decide to purchase this, you should purchase 2 strips to make sure it will be enough for your collar band as well as the cuff of your sleeves. Pattern piece number 8, which is the pocket. You will need to cut out 4 pattern pieces. Pattern piece number 6. This is the sleeve front. You will need to cut out 2 pattern pieces. Pattern piece number 7, which is the sleeve back. You will need to cut out 2 pattern pieces. Pattern piece number 2, and this is the front. You will need to cut out 1 on fold, the center fold. Pattern piece number 3, you will need to cut out 2 pattern pieces, and this is the back pattern. Now let's go over what you will need for the project. Of course, you'll need a sewing machine. You will need some thread. You will also need some scissors. You will need a pen to mark. And you will also need measurement tape to take your measurements, as well as you'll need some pens. So let's get started.
Okay, so we have our front bodice. This is the neckline here. So what we're going to do next is we're going to pay attention to the pattern. The pattern has a triangle here. There's one under the underarm. There's one on the shoulder. You want to make a slash, a tiny little slash, to mark where to combine the front bodice as well as the back bodice. And there's another triangle here as well. So we want to just make our slash here, just a little bit, okay, just a little cut. And that's going to be for, you're going to hold these 2 together, and you're going to make a tiny cut, okay? So we're going to move this down. You're going to hold both fabrics together, and you're going to make a tiny cut. Okay, let's turn this around. Make a tiny cut here as well. And I'm going to make a tiny cut here as well. And I forgot to mention, we want to make a tiny cut here so we'll know where to line up the neckband. That's later on. Tiny little cut. And that will go, it'll be right here, okay? Look just like this. Just make a tiny little cut. Okay, so let's pay attention to another marking that is on the pattern as well. And that marking is this little dot here, these dots. But we're just going to go with the, whatever your size is, that's the dot that you're going to mark as to where to place your pocket. So there's one here and there's another one here as well. So you just want to take your chalk, just want to make like a little indicator so you'll know where to place your pocket. You'll place another indicator here. Okay, so pocket goes here. This is where you start and this is where you finish. So you're going to do the same thing with the back bodice. Here is our back bodice. So you have the triangle here, you make a slash. A triangle here, you make a slash. There's a triangle here, you make a slash. Here are the dots, right? The little circles. You take your chalk, you make an indicator. Here are your circles again, the starting point, the ending point of your pocket. So you make another indicator here with your chalk, the same way we did with the front bodice.